Hi, welcome to my channel. Um, Here's my little troll baby. Still debating, but I think Sophia is actually really cute, so I might take the lady's idea on board. And again, please forgive me if I can't remember your name. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible with names. I really am. But I don't know. I think it suits her. Look at her little toes. Oh my gosh, look at these little toes. They're adorable. But I'm the same way about cat toes, too. I just think their little feet are adorable. Okay, so I decided I was going to show you my new creatures, and I'm going to tell you the story about my heart problem. So, this is called Baby Abyss, and this is a gargoyle. Pretty cute, huh? I love it. I mean, he's got these cute little wings, and you can like manipulate them too if you want to change how they look, and these really cute blue eyes. If you can see them, there you go. They're cute. But I had to find him on eBay. And oh, yeah, I'm going to tell you where to get these as well. I found somebody on Etsy who made really nice earrings, but he didn't make them big enough for me. So I wrote to him and I said, could you possibly make some for me, but would you be willing to make them bigger? And he said, okay, well, what measurement? And he normally seemed to do them at about a 6, and I asked him for double. And I said, look, it's okay if you can't. I understand that, but I thought if I don't ask, I'll never know. And funny enough, he came back and he said, yeah, no problem. So I have giant pumpkin earrings with fangs. I'm happy. But I'm going to link that guy's store on Etsy down below, as well as the place where you can go get creatures as well. I've been meaning to do that. So, my heart problem. Here we go. When I lived in America, I would bring this up several times throughout my life over there. I would tell the doctors, and this was on insurance and off, okay? So whether I had it or did not. But I would tell them every now and then my heart felt strange, and it made me feel like really sick, like weird. And I tried to describe it. I said, imagine if your heart is just pumping like a normal heart does, right? And then imagine if, your heart is wet, it's sluggish, it's really slippery. So imagine something covers it and stops it from doing a full pump, but you can still feel it kind of like moving, like trying. And that would last for a couple of seconds, maybe even a few. I would feel really lightheaded, very strange, and then it would just go away. So we never really knew what it was, but I would describe it to the doctor, and they would tell me, oh, well, it might be a heart murmur. We're not really sure. But, they never gave me like any equipment to monitor to find out. So either it wasn't anything to worry about or they just didn't care to worry about it. I'm not sure. But, it was scary when it would hit me because, I didn't know what was happening. But it started to happen less as I got older. So, as I went into the military, didn't really seem to happen that much in there, maybe once or twice, and I was okay. So, as things went on, I was told, well, we can't just give you monitoring equipment because it's rather expensive, and this is going to take a few weeks at least of monitoring to try to catch. And we just, you don't have the health insurance for that, and we don't have the resources to give it to you. Was the um, like summary of what I was told. And I can understand that. I do, because it is expensive equipment. I get it. I do. Well, over time, eventually I ended up in England, of course. I'm here now. And certain symptoms started happening. I started feeling like this tight pain going like up my throat. And I would have to stop whatever it was I was doing, any exertion. and it was slowly back down again. And if I started up again, because I had an exercise regimen. Outside of my house is a hill that I swear a mountain goat is the only thing that can go up it without running out of breath. I mean, it is steep. Whew. And, I was challenging it. I was determined. But every time I would try to climb it, by the time I got up there, that pain, that really sick, gripping, tight feeling and the pain just went up my throat into my gums. And it was just so painful. And I felt like a tightness. I felt really weird. I didn't know what was happening. So I went to my GP at the time and I told him what was going on. Now, I have never said that the NHS was perfect, nor have I ever said that the NHS is free. It's not free. Anybody with any common sense knows it's taxes that pay for it. I know that. And I think anybody that's under the impression that it's free might want to reconsider and say, hey, no, it's not. It comes out of people's hard-earned dollar or pound, depending on where you are. Medicaid is dollar, But he said, I'm pretty sure it's something called Globus. And then he just left it at that. There was nothing more said. But the symptoms persisted. And I went back to him again, and he told me that I needed to take it easy. And if the symptoms came back, that, I should just continue to rest. So I did. And then one morning, I was sitting in the living room and something just felt wrong, very wrong. And I was getting pains in my chest and I didn't know what it was. And I was scared and I didn't want to wake up my partner. So what I did was I called 999 and that's the ambulance here. And they came very quickly, just a few minutes, and they were doing my vitals, and they whisked me off to the hospital near where I live. And while I was there, they did some blood tests and they did some other testing for me. And come to find out, I had indeed some sort of chemical that was in my blood that indicated that there had been a heart attack, or I was having one at the time. And so they told me, well, we're intaking you into the hospital. You're going to be processed in, and we're going to get a bed ready for you, etc. And I was just, very eyes wide. What? I was scared, like anybody would be scared when they're told they have to go to hospital. I would expect everybody to have some hesitation, right? Um, but anyway, they put me in there, and I was put into this bay, and the first one didn't work out quite well because the lady didn't like the sound of the fan on. I get hot very easily. And usually after the video's done, I immediately turn the fan back on me. And because it makes too much noise, so I don't want to bother you guys with that. But she didn't like the fan, so I was moved. And the next place I was put, we had a laugh. Everybody was fine. It was nice. Um, And it was like being in a wing of the hospital with a bunch of ladies that were about 30 to 40 years my senior, and they all acted like moms or nanas, like my grandmas. It was really kind of cool, honestly, because, my mother is she's such an abusive person that I never really had that maternal love. I never really had anybody like telling me, "Oh, I love you," supporting me and saying you can do this or any of that. So it was a really cool experience. And anyway, they would do like their angiograms, and there was one procedure that I had to go into, and they put me in a bed, and it was an incline, kind of like this. My head was here, and my arms were outstretched, and they had to do some sort of thing where they put a camera into my heart, the arteries, I believe. I think they were testing, and the doctor said, well, you're not going to be able to feel this, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, I have awakened during surgeries before, a couple of times now. And if I'm meant to not feel something, I potentially will feel it. So I'm just letting you know it's because of the fibromyalgia. For some reason, it makes us more sensitive to anesthesia, and we're more likely to wake up. And that's a terrifying experience, believe me. It's you don't want to wake up in the middle of that. But he did, and he went ahead and put the camera where it needed to go, and I could feel it, and it hurt, and he didn't believe me, and so he moved it, I suppose, a little bit quicker just to test, like randomly, to see if I would react to it. I did. I screamed. It hurt that bad, and I will tell you something. The nurses in the NHS are just amazing. There were 3 or 4 of them, and they just held me and helped me through that. Uh, because he didn't have to do that, of course, but he didn't know that I was that sensitive, and they like surrounded me, and they were just so kind and calm, and it made me cry because it was so like it was so compassionate, so caring. But yeah, I found out I have something cardiomyopathy, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and there's some other congenital heart condition where my arteries are actually narrower than they're supposed to be. So that obviously makes me more prone to problems with my heart. But I only live about 5 minutes away, literally, from a big hospital. And so I can tell you that the experience was it was pretty amazing. There was an elderly lady in there that was with me, and she had Crohn's as well, so she had a big tummy, and she was in so much pain, and she was really lonely, missing her family, and we talked, and I remember her reaching her hand out towards me, and she looked at me, and I couldn't, I couldn't ignore her. I went over to her, I held her hand, and I helped her cry through her loneliness, her pain. She went through a lot, um, and it was a really awful experience for her. But hopefully, I'm not a nurse or anything. I could just offer like support, but hopefully that helped a little bit because later I met her family, and they were all saying thank you. So I don't know. It was really sweet though. There's some really nice people in there. Um, but oh man, we would just have so many laughs in there. And there was a nurse that would come in and out, and I think, I'm pretty sure she was joking, but she would bring in the new round, the next shift of nurses, and she would kind of give a quick rundown about what each patient was like. And she'd get to mine, and she's like, oh, this one's really independent. Um, and I'm going to practice I have an English accent, so I've been trying to practice them. I don't know if they're accurate. I just do it for fun. She's like, that one, hold on. I can't do it. I'm on camera. I can't do it. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll have to do it some other time. But yeah, she did look very happy with me when because I would get up and I would walk down the hall, but I'd walk really slow. I don't like sitting in bed. I don't like sitting anywhere for a long period of time. Um, and then, of course, they bring in the baby doctors, which is what I would call them. They weren't quite ready yet, but they were just there to learn. And they would come in, and they were, oh my gosh, they were of every ethnicity, every age and gender, and it was really cool, talking to them and just seeing the new group up and coming, and how diverse everybody was, and they were all getting along, which is something that I hope for so much in this world, is that we would just get along more. That's all I want, really. I just want people to take a second, you know a few seconds out of your day and just think about what it's like for somebody else. Try to understand somebody else. You don't have to do it outright, but try. You know, give it a shot. You'd be surprised. I mean, how much that person might have in common with you. So, yeah. Alright, so I have decided to speak a bit louder in my videos. I'm not usually this loud, but I want to see if this helps with the volume. And hopefully you can hear me. So, this is my second creature, and I'm so excited. This is Medusa. This is the one I was trying to tell you about. You see her? She's got these little snaky things for hair, and you can manipulate them too. See, I can have it sticking straight out, or whatever I want. But she's huge and she's gorgeous here. And she's got this cute little tail. See, I like Medusa. She's pretty. The Hades I'm going for is green. It's black cat, but has like these highlighted green parts to it, so it's really cool. But yeah, it does not replace my troll baby. So the troll and I are very happy to have been able to talk to you, and yeah, just keep your chin up, and again, everybody's welcome from every part of the rainbow to just chat and hang out here with us. And I sincerely look forward to getting to know all of you a little bit more. Thank you. And I really appreciate if you'd subscribe. There's my little troll girl. She is the only troll that is allowed to be in here. Okay? Because she's quiet and cute and sweet. And, I mean, look at that smile. Come on. It's cute, right? So, anyway, remember I told you I was going to be telling you the good and the bad. I tell everybody everything as far as, healthcare goes, okay? So, there are good times and there are bad times on both sides of the pond, as they say. All right? So, I was telling you about this heart problem that I had in part 1, and one of the procedures I had to go through, and some of my stay in the hospital. So, this is some of the other stuff that happened as well. And I might need a part 3 on this. I don't know, because it was quite a big adventure. Well, once I had been discharged from the hospital, I had to go back to my GP. And my GP, well, he took one look at me and he said,
"There's nothing wrong with your heart." Gonna have to disagree with you there.
A little bit, The cardiac doctor had prescribed 5 different prescriptions for me. Not that I was pleased with this, but if it meant that I was going to be able to continue living, I will take what I have to take, And, some of the drugs were not the most pleasant, like clopidogrel is one that makes my face feels like it's really hot. And it goes red, too. It goes kind of reddish in patches. It's most unpleasant. And then there was a torvastatin, and, oh gosh, there was a few others. Ramipril was one. And, the thing is, as a whole, I took what I was prescribed, and then to go to my regular GP and be told that there's nothing wrong with my heart, basically nullifying the last 2 to 3 weeks of an ordeal that was very real. Yeah, I didn't appreciate that. So, to be fair, it wasn't very long after that I left that surgery and I went to find another one. And I can tell you this, that my neighbor, the one that is a nurse, that is my friend, his girlfriend had the same doctor, and she also had several problems with him. So we believe it was, the case that he was a bad doctor, really. He was not good. And so, like with my friend, with his girl, he told her to be brave about the pain, and she had broken her wrist, her arm, and her hip, and he told her to be brave with the pain. Not, no, no, no. That is not the right way to treat a person if they're in pain, just saying. But this happened, and it was very frustrating. His negligence as far as not really acknowledging the problem, then this whole brushing off, it might be this, then, just take it easy, and then ending in me having to go to the emergency room to go to the heart clinic, well, not the cardiac unit, and having to stay there for 2 weeks. That was not nothing. So, yes, and I did report him. Well, there was one thing that I experienced there that I don't recommend, but I'm very claustrophobic. I don't enjoy tight spaces. I don't like when I can't move my head freely. If I fall asleep on a sofa, I have to be above the armrest. I don't like having my head up against the the armrest, because then I don't feel like I can move. So it's all part of that, like, I don't like moving thing. So, or not being able to move. But I was told, and there's a reason I'm telling you this, I was told that I was going to have a heart MRI, and that it was going to last an hour. Do you know how claustrophobic an MRI makes me? And I have to be in there for an hour now? God. Well, there was more good news. More. They told me, oh, and in addition to this fun little jaunt, you're going to have to place this box on top of your chest while you're in the tube that weighs, I don't know, it must have weighed about 5 to 10 pounds. It was pretty heavy. And all of this was so that they could take a very detailed MRI of my heart in a 3-degree manner so they could see everything. And, my common sense beat down and overrode my primitive brain. I think it might have given it some cookies or something to play with, because my logical brain said, excuse me, just close your eyes. While you're in the MRI, close your eyes. And so I did. And you know what? It really helped. Because, you can pretend you're anywhere but in a metal tube. Even with the loud banging, it's still not that bad, And there was one more thing I forgot. Not only am I in a metal tube, I can't move, I have weight on my chest, but I also am required to hold my breath when they tell me to. And I can't let it out, or the imagery will be a problem. So every now and then I would hear, okay, now take in a deep breath. Okay, now hold it, please. Hold it. Hold it a little bit longer. Okay, almost there. Okay, you can let that out now. Okay, now take in another deep breath. And I'm just not enjoying this whatsoever, but again, closed my eyes, pretended I was somewhere else. And towards the end, I felt like it was a worthy thing to have done, just in case. You never know. It's a good thing to have, I think. So we went through all that. I got my MRI done. Okay, right. The final, the final problem I found was this. After I'd left the hospital, I was summoned back after, I don't know, I think it was like a month. And I was told that I needed to speak to one of the heart doctors. And I said, okay, cardiologist, sure. Um, so I readied myself. I arrived at the appointed time. 15 minutes later, I was in their office and they were speaking to me. So I'm listening avidly, you know. Yes, some good news, please. And he tells me, we don't know what caused your heart attack. Really? So, the 3D MRI, the thing that was supposed to give you viewpoints from every possible angle, didn't help you. So, you're telling me that I did that claustrophobic nightmare for nothing? Ugh! But, yeah, I kept that part to myself. I always do. I'm never rude to people that, in any industry where they're helping people. Because you just don't do that. You don't. Not unless they're incredibly foul. Like if they're doing something, I suppose there are exceptions to pretty much everything, you know. But yeah, these were some experiences that I had. Uh, Now, see, the doctor I have now is very nice. Does stay quite on top of the problems that I have, and I put in my request for my prescription medications once a month, and yeah, it's been an experience, but I am here for the truth and to show you that yes, there are and have been some, there have been some mishaps, little like stumbles over here. There will be problems everywhere. What I will not do, and I will never do, is I'm not going to stand here and, you know, build something up into something it can never be. But I'm not going to sit there and listen to people badmouth the NHS for no reason. If you have, viable proof and something bad happened to you, tell me. I'd love to hear it. I really want to hear what's going on. I'd rather hear good news, but, But I'm not going to wear blinders either way. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, the NHS is fabulous. It's 100% good. It's always wonderful. Because that's just as bad, in my opinion, as someone who's constantly bad-mouthing it. Keep it realistic. That being said, they saved my life. If I had not shown up that day, if I hadn't called, and if they hadn't done what they did, my life would be forfeit. So I thank the NHS every single day for my life. And to me, there's nothing more valuable on this earth than to have a place that you can go and know that you're going to be taken care of, and that you're not alone in your suffering, and that there are people that will listen and that will help you. To have that means the world. And to not have it and to have never had it, there's no way of knowing what it's like, And I think that's the problem with a lot of my friends back in America and a lot of people that I don't know from over there yet, is that they've never lived like this. They've never experienced it in a positive manner. So they don't understand what they're missing, you know? So whenever people are, aggressive or negative towards people that are, putting the NHS up like a good thing, which it is, I look at them usually as someone who's misinformed, because you don't know unless you live here. You really don't understand what it's like. And I'm telling you, it's wonderful, you know. And I am so glad that um, I don't have to be just, you know, punted off to every like emergency room that there is, like, oh, she's not well, no insurance, stick her in the emergency room. And the emergency room is a very quick heal, a quick fix. It's like, go in there, okay, we'll take care of you here. We'll send you, like a little written note to go to a specialist that won't see you, and we'll give you a prescription that you probably won't be able to afford. And they know this. And it's horrible. I mean, what is here in England right now prevents that sort of thing. I would like to see people not have to be so worried over there. Like, am I going to be able to eat today, or am I going to have to bite the bullet and, you know, get groceries another day? I don't think people should have to make that choice, you know? And, yeah, if you're watching this, another thing that I noticed is when I got here, there were certain things that had been bothering me before I left America that some of the nurses picked up on, and one of them said, you look like you have a thyroid problem. And I didn't argue. I was curious, and so they ordered up the test, and sure enough, low functioning thyroid. Okay. So, there was another one. She noticed something else going on, and like the thing about going to a GP, one that you've been going to for a long time, is they're used to the way you look. So if you don't look well, they'll pick up on it. And I don't know, maybe I'm old fashioned and I like that kind of thing, going into the store and they know who you are. But we go into our local grocery store here and some of them know us because we've lived here since 2011. So, it's kind of cool. It's almost small town like, but that's one thing I love about England is that, everything's a lot smaller. Um, the cars are dinky. I love them. I really do. Um, and the garage, I believe that's how they say it, the garage, they're also dinky. Um, and as I've said before, I've been practicing my English accent, but I can't just plan on what it is that I'm going to say. It just has to kind of flow. And you guys can laugh at me if you want to. I will completely understand. But I think towards the end, I'm going to try to do a little bit of my accent. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, because I'm already getting a little embarrassed thinking about it. But I'm going to give my hand at it a try, and we'll see what happens as I go on. I don't know when it'll happen, but let's see. I'll try now. All right. Okay. This is my little troll. She's a gorgeous little girl. Isn't she gorgeous? She's so pretty. Oh my god. I love my little troll. What do you think? I get so embarrassed, but anyway, I want to see what you guys think of that one. I love doing accents. I can do a Southern girl accent. I can do a cheerleader. And I can do whatever that one is. I don't know what it is, but I can do it. Anyway, I do need to get going, and I'm going to give you lot a kiss. Mwah. I'll talk to you later.
Gonna have to disagree with you there.